All right, I just want to go over this chapter 4. I'm going to look at the PowerPoint presentation. That should be in your Blackboard folder for this week in coursework. So we're looking at, let me go to the title, Elasticity of Demand. Again, chapter 4 in the textbook. This week there is going to be a My Econ Lab quiz and homework. The quiz, you're only going to get 2 shots to go through it. I think there's 7 questions in the quiz. I'll go over that in a separate video. Plus there is an Excel file that helps you with the formula for elasticity, because this is one of the formulas you have to know for the test, right? Elasticity of demand. So it's for the midterm and the final. And again, elasticity looks at basically, is my product necessary for some people? Do they need to have it? Or could they easily switch to some other product if mine gets too expensive? So looking at basically, do we have to have them? The world of fashion, the new fashion. Again, if you're, of course, a fashion designer and people have to have your product line, it's easy to raise your prices and increase your total revenue because people have to have them. This inelastic demand, it's called. And again, medicine is the classic inelastic one, right? Insulin. Some people have to have insulin to live, so they have, of course, inelastic demand. As opposed to elasticity here, and again, where should I go to? Burger King, McDonald's, Chipotle. Again, if they raise their prices too much, you can easily go to another one. So, again, power boats too. Again, we can live without a power boat easily. They're very elastic demand. Again, if the price of power boats go up a lot, people just won't buy them because they don't need them. It's a luxury in a sense. So here we're going to basically see how to calculate this elasticity and see how it will affect our total revenue. It's very useful for individual firms. Should we raise our prices or not? Will it be harmful to the bottom line, or will it be helpful for us? So, of course, we got to do things quantitatively. Yeah. Let's take a look. So here's the formula that we're going to create, right? Elasticity, to see if, again, can I raise my prices and make money, make more money. So elasticity of demand takes a look at the percent change of quantity demanded divided by the percent change in price. Remember, the percent change, I went over the first day in class, is that new minus the old divided by the old, right? That will figure out the percent change of quantity demanded, and then we'll do the same thing for percent change of price, and then divide the quantity by the price. Again, it's not that difficult of math. Just remember it's Q over P. Then it should be fairly easy if you remember the new minus old divided by old. Again, here we are. Here's the formula. Again, you're going to have to do one of these in the midterm, right? I'm going to give you something like this. The the price increase from soda went from $2.50 to $3, right? So you got to figure out which one's new, which one's old, right? The $3 is the new one, the $2.50 is the old one. So there you can see $3 down here minus $2.50 divided by $2.50 gives you 20%. That is, again, the price. Q is up on top, right? So we sold less, right? It went from 1,000 six-packs to 900 six-packs. So new minus old divided by old gives this 10% change, right? And again, then you just take the 10% divided by the 20%, right? This will be in the homework. This will be in the My Econ Lab quiz for this week too. You get your calculators ready when you take that quiz. Comes out negative 0.5. Right? It will give us our elasticity. And then we're going to use this number to figure out, is this elastic or inelastic demand? And what will it do to our total revenue? Did we make money or lose money with this price increase? Exciting? Are we ready? So here's some more stuff here, right? Again, price. Again, I'm going to give you something like this in the midterm. It's going to be the same. The numbers will be different, of course, but again, here's the new price. There's the original, the old price, right? 20 to 22. And then the quantity goes from 100 to 80, right? And again, all you do is the new minus old divided by the old. Yeah, they do the formulas here a little different. But I'm going to do this in the Excel spreadsheet. So you'll have this in the Excel spreadsheet and have the formulas ready to go. So hang on. So let's take a quick look here. Again, graphically, if we look at this, here I can tell it's not a good idea to raise your prices. I can just tell visually without even doing the math, right? Take a look here. I increased my prices from 5 to 6. Look what happened to quantity. It went from 20 to 12, right? This is very elastic demand. So if we did the math here, again, the quantity over price, again, new minus old, right? 12 minus 20 divided by 20 would come up to this 40%, right? And again, we don't really care about the negative number here at all. So the price went up by 20%, but the quantity decreased by 40%, right? This comes out to 2, right? So this is greater than 1. It's elastic. People don't need it. This is just, again, like McDonald's hamburgers, right? If they raise their prices too much, people will go to something similar, right? They'll go to your Burger King. So again, if it's over 1, you have elastic demand, right? Again, the percent change of quantity divided by the percent change of price, right? Will give you some value. And again, we don't really care about the negative number. We only want the whole number or the absolute number that we'll do in Excel. If that's greater than 1, you don't want to be raising your prices because it's going to take off from total revenue. Right? It's going to hurt your company. So, and again, it's easy to see visually, right? A little bit increase in price. Whoa! There's a big drop in the quantity demanded. But of course, we have to do the math in economics. So again, this is a good screen to mesmerize before the test, right? Again, elastic demand, if it's greater than 1, right? The percent change in price, right? You have a larger percent change in quantity demanded, right? So, again, very straightforward. I'll do this in Excel, and we'll play around with the formulas in Excel to try some different scenarios out. Inelastic demand, of course, if it comes out less than 1, that percent change in quantity divided by the percent change in price, if that comes out less than 1, you have inelastic demand. That means you can raise your prices and make more money. That we'll see again. It's very quantifiably. And again, unitary elasticity, when it's, again, the elasticity is 1, then the percent change in price, right, changes exact percent change in quantity demanded. So if you raise your prices, it's not going to really change your total revenue at all with this unitary elasticity. I'm not going to have any unitary elasticity on the test. It doesn't happen that often. So again, here we can see inelastic demand. Again, it's more up and down curve, right? But again, just visually looking at it, I see I increase my prices from 5 to 6, and the quantity demanded here just goes down a little bit. So I can raise my prices. There's a bigger gap here in the price gain, and just a little bit of, again, change in quantity demanded. So again, if you do the math here, it comes out to 0.5, less than 1, and again, here I raise my prices, and my total revenue will go up on this one if you have inelastic demand. So this is what you want to do in your business, right? You want to have inelastic demand. This is all what marketing is about. Well, not all of it, but basically you want people to buy your product, so they have to have it. So if people have to have it, you can raise your prices, and it won't have, hopefully, not that much of an effect on the quantity demand. Make sense? Yeah, I got to get this unit elasticity, where again elasticity is equal to 1. I'm not going to have one of those in the test. So here is a perfectly inelastic demand. If it goes straight up and down, because remember before, this is, again, something that's inelastic, right? It's more up and down. compared to the very elastic where it's more a flat curve. At the extreme, you have perfectly inelastic demand where you have to have it. So if you increase your prices, no change in quantity. And again, this is, some health issues are like this, right? If you need kidney dialysis, you're going to die, right? Doesn't matter the price they're going to charge for the kidney dialysis machine. They can just raise their prices. So this is where government tries to get in and regulate a lot of these things. So again, here with perfectly inelastic demand, the equation comes out to 0 because there's no change in the quantity percent. And of course, the other way around is perfectly elastic. And we're going to come into this, talk about this in the next chapter, where this is very appropriate, where the equation comes out to infinity. But we'll go on to that more in chapter 5, when we get perfectly elasticity. We'll talk more and more about it. So here they talk about, what is inelastic. And again, this depends person to person, but this is looking at, generally look at it, if I'm selling salts, right? It's fairly inelastic demand for salt. These are some strange things, right? Coffee, of course, you have to have coffee for people that are addicted to it. Physicians visit sport fishing. I'm surprised sport fishing has inelastic demand. Eggs, cigarettes, of course, food. And again, if you look at some of the elastic stuff you can go without or switch to a cheaper one. Automobiles, if the price of cars go up, there's so many choices of different cars. Foreign travel, again, the price goes up for foreign travel, people just don't do it, right? Same thing with motorboats. Restaurants, actually, the last recession really hurt restaurants because a lot of people cut back on that and just ate at home. So see if this makes sense for you too. The specialty brands for coffee, again, if you have that Kahlua coffee, right? It comes from Hawaii, extremely expensive. Again, that's very elastic. They raise their prices, people will just go to another one. All right, let's see. So again, this is an interesting one here. I think I have a couple questions on this on the homework, but it's relatively elastic if there are many substitutes, of course, right? If a long time passes too, right? Demand is relatively elastic. The price of gas goes up. People will pay more for gas, but over the long run, they'll get a smaller car. They'll take mass transit. So demand becomes relatively elastic over a long period of time. If it's a large part of your budget, that makes a big difference. And if it's the products of luxury, of course, right? You can go without luxuries. Demand is inelastic if there's no other substitutes, like kidney dialysis. This, in a short time, again, gas prices going up quickly won't affect things in the short run because I still got to get someplace. I still driving the same car. I'm still driving the same places. So in a short time, it's very relatively inelastic. And again, if it's a small part of your budget and the product is a necessity, here I got some insulin. So using these elasticity, what is this one talking about? Oh yeah, again, elasticity, it talks about gas elasticity over time, right? You'll start driving less, maybe start doing some carpooling. There's all a bunch of things you could do in the long run that people will do. Again, if we know basically the price elasticity of things, you can predict what will happen if you raise the prices, and there's a lot of public basically policy choices that are made because of elasticity. And the one that affects you, of course, is what? Beer and prices. Like beer prices and highway death. So the price elasticity demand for beer among young adults is 1.3%. Right? So here you can figure out if the state imposes a beer tax that increases beer by 10%, right? Consumption will decrease by 13%. So if you wonder why alcohol is more expensive, a lot of sin taxes on here to keep you from buying beer, and then of course getting in that car, and again out of these statistics that the number of highway deaths will also decrease by 13%. Is this, in the long run, a good idea? I don't know. This is also, again, why your drinking age is 21 in this country, because there's been some studies done and things. And again, cigarette pricing with teenagers too, right? If they raise the cigarette taxes tremendously over the years, what's the impact does it have on the quantity demanded? So will it cut down on smoking for you? So again, individually, you may have a more inelastic demand for cigarettes compared to other people, but it looks at it in general. And it's basically, this is how policymakers decide the state taxes for cigarettes and how it will change demand and how it will increase their revenues too, because they do make money off of these sin taxes. Yeah. But basically, what you want to do is, we're using this elasticity, how it affects total revenue, right? And again, total revenue, this is a multiple choice question on the midterm that people get wrong all the time. Total revenue, it's very simple, right? My total revenue is the price I charge per 1 unit times how much I sell, right? So my total revenue, again, if I sell 10 sweaters at $100 a pop, right? 10 sweaters, $100 a pop, my total revenue then is 1,000, right? So total revenue is the price per unit times the quantity sold. Be prepared for that multiple choice. It drives me crazy when people do that. So what happens to total revenues if prices go up, right? If I raise my prices, what happens to total revenue? Again, all depends on your elasticity, right? So here I can see this one. Here's my elasticity is 2 for this one, right? My price goes from, what, $10 to $11. Quantity sold, though, takes a nosedive from 100 to 80, right? This is basically very elastic demand, because again, anything where the elasticity is greater than 1, right? It's elastic. So this came out to 2. So you can take a look at the total revenue for my original price at $10 times 100 sold, my 1,000. Here's my sweaters, I guess. So if I increase the price to $11, I only sold 80, total revenue went down. So if something is elastic, right? The product is elastic, then if I raise my price, total revenue will go down. It's very simple. If it's inelastic, people have to have it. And again, here, take a look at this one. If we did the equation, percent quantity change divided by the percent in price change, this elasticity comes out to less than 1.5. So again, increase the price by to 120. Quantity sold only went down 1 though. Again, here, if it's inelastic, my total revenue goes up, right? And again, total revenue is the price times the quantity sold, right? So here I would raise my prices, and then I get an increase in total revenue. So it all depends on your elasticity. So this is the big part of this chapter. And again, this is a good table to look at before the test, right? Again, if you got elastic demand, right? People don't have to have it. Again, it is greater than 1. If price goes up, total revenue goes down, right? If price goes down, total revenue will go up, right? Because if you drop your prices, basically people will come and buy your stuff because you have a lot of times, again, similar products, right? Again, McDonald's cuts their prices compared to Burger King. People will go to McDonald's. Right? And it's the opposite. Again, if you have elastic demand, increase in price increases your total revenue. Again, you have to have it. If you decrease your price, you will lose total revenue, right? And again, we'll look at this in the Excel spreadsheet. So again, this is, again, same sort of thing here. Notice the big and small arrows here, right? It's case 1, elasticity of demand. The coefficient is greater than 1. So a small increase in price will have a big drop in quantity, right? And a big drop in total revenue, right? Notice the big and small. So again, if I lower my price, right, there will be a big increase in quantity and a big increase in total revenue. So again, this one and this one are talk about the same thing, but different ways of looking at it. So take a look. And again, market versus brand elasticity. Again, this is talking about that the coffee thing, right? Again, the elasticity for coffee overall is 0.3, right? It's highly inelastic. But for specific demands, specific brands, it's very elastic at 4.6. Fine, yeah, ask your marketing people, professor, about elasticity. No, don't do that. Don't measure my money. And again, here talking about bus ridership in different cities in the states. Again, this is a lot of public policy goes on with this. Bumper crops are bad for farmers. Again, farm products are extremely elastic, right? One person's corn is another person's corn. That's why if it's a really good summer for weather, it's actually not going to be a great summer this summer for farmers. But if it's a good summer for farmers, again, prices will drop because there is more supply out there. But we will talk about that more in the coming chapters. Yeah. Anti-drug policies and property crimes. There's all kinds of fun stuff to look at policy with elasticity. So take a look at this chapter, and I will do that Excel file next. So let me see if I can get out of here. Stop my recording.